Hello everyone, it's your favorite cucumber Martino Pepino, and today I bring you guys the top 10 melee weapon enchants in Minecraft Dungeons. In my opinion, of course. You can have your own list, don't sue me, but this is what I think are cool enchants. Also, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like below. You will be surprised which is the best enchant, so stick around to find out. But thank you guys for 1,000 views in my other video about the best archer builds for this game. Let's see if we can get 10 likes in this video. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a like down below. So let's get started with number 10. Number 10. Freezing. Sorry. So starting off with this list is the enchant Freezing. This enchant will slow mobs after a hit for 3 seconds. If you upgrade it to level 3, you can get 40% reduced speed on enemies. Not much to say about this enchant, pretty straightforward, but it's quite useful to reduce the amount of hits you receive because your enemy attack speed is greatly reduced. But there are other enchants that are better than just slowing your enemies. So we'll go check out number 9. So number 9 is Stunning. This enchant is like Freezing, but better, because it completely stops your enemies on their track. The description is, chance to temporarily stun enemies. This would be very OP if there wasn't a chance of stunning. That's the reason why it's high up on this list, but when you upgrade the enchant, the chance percentage increases up to 15%, so it's not that bad. But if you really want to stun enemies, just use the light feather artifact. So going on to number 8 is Fire Aspect. This enchant is quite cool, or hot should I say. This enchant sets mobs on fire for 3 seconds, dealing damage over time. This is a great way to do extra damage, but you can only set mobs on fire individually, so it's not great for big crowds of mobs. But if you're fighting a boss, the Fire Aspect enchant will be at its fullest potential since it takes longer to kill bosses. The burning will last longer. Now moving on to number 7 is the enchant Leeching. You will literally drink the blood off your enemies with this enchant. Defeating a mob heals you a small portion of the mob's max health. This is a great enchant because you wouldn't need to worry about your health, right? Not exactly. This enchant only helps you last a little longer without using a health potion. This does not completely replace the potion, but like I said, since every defeated enemy heals you, the more mobs you kill, the longer you can last in battle. Now moving on to number 6 is the enchantment Rampaging. This enchantment will increase your attack speed when you defeat a mob, but there's a 10% chance for that enchant to activate, so you won't see this happen very often, but when it does activate, you're destined to shred through the fields because your attack speed increases by 50%. This enchant by itself isn't really reliable. It's best to have this enchant with another one so you don't have to rely on the Rampage enchant because it's unpredictable. Sometimes I would fight 10 monsters and the enchantment literally activates at the last monster that I defeated. So I recommend to use the Death Cap Mushroom if you want to increase your attack speed, and on top of that, your damage. Now the 5th enchant is Poison Cloud. Like Fire Aspect, this enchant deals damage over time, but the only difference is that Fire Aspect does slightly more damage than Poison Cloud. Then why is the enchant better than Fire Aspect, you may ask? Well, to set your enemies on fire, you need to directly hit them. But with Poison Cloud, you can hit only one enemy, and if the poison activates, then any mobs within the area will start to get poisoned. And the Poison Cloud does only 1 damage less than Fire Aspect, so there really isn't no difference. And if you want to use this enchant in its fullest potential, you should use a melee weapon with high damage speed like the sickles. The reason is that the Poison Cloud has a 30% chance to activate, but with a fast weapon, since the enchant activates on hit, the more you hit, the more Poison Clouds you can have. So going to number 4 is Prospector. This enchant will increase the chance to get emeralds on defeating a mob. So this is already a great enchant, and obviously the more upgrades on Prospector, the more emeralds. but I'm not sure if this stacks. Like you can see, I have 2 enchant slots dedicated to Prospector. I should test more on this if enchants can stack, but this doesn't change the fact that you get more money during your mission. You can use that to get more weapons from the villager. Pretty straightforward. Now we have reached the top 3 enchants, and the third one is Smiting. And Smiting is an underrated enchant, and I understand why. But when you think about it, it's very strong, especially in Minecraft dungeons. When you upgrade it to level 3, you do 40% more damage to zombies and skeletons, the 2 most seen enemies. That's why I put this enchant in the 3rd place, because it's going to be helpful no matter what. Because you will always run into those darn undead. And with the experience I had with this enchant has proven very effective, tearing waves of the undead. Just like the Walking Dead. Now going to number 2 is Sharpness. Aha! You must be surprised that Sharpness is not number 1. But I'll explain that in a little bit. But there's no doubt about it. Sharpness is a great enchant. Because what's better than increasing your damage? If you upgrade to level 3, you will get 33% more damage on your weapon. And I did a test to see how much damage you do with an axe that has 38 through 46 damage. With a 33% damage boost, you do around 50 to 70 damage per hit. That's it. Your highest damage output without any other buff will be 70. But with the next enchantment, you can do even more damage. Now, going to number 1, the best enchant I think that you can get in the game, at least for weapons, is Committed. Okay, maybe you aren't surprised, or maybe you are, or maybe you're upset. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, but let me explain. The Committed enchant deals increased damage against already wounded enemies, and if you upgrade this to level 3, you do an additional 0 to 100% bonus damage. That's awesome, right? Well, let me show you the numbers. So, to test this, I needed to get 2 of the same weapons with the enchantment I needed, and those 2 weapons had to have the same damage output. Getting this was incredibly lucky, so try to cut me some slack. So, the axe that I had, level 3 sharpness, did up to 70 damage, but the level 3 committed axe did a whopping 121-ish. It was hard to see what was the maximum damage because the axe doesn't always do the max damage. Plus the mobs couldn't last long enough because they would just die. And also the 3rd hit on the axe is a spin attack that does the most damage. But when everything went according to plan, I managed to hit up to 121 damage on the spin attack. And with that, the Committed enchant is better than Sharpness. At least that's what I think. Well, that wraps up this countdown. Let me know in the comments below what other videos you guys want me to make. Maybe another top 10 enchants, but for armor. There's a lot of enchants to cover. But let me know, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and stay fresh.